All right, guys. So welcome to the team call. It's January 21st already, and today I just wanted to talk about a few things. So if I have time, I wanted to kind of address Asana again and go over some like more focused business stuff. Um, and then but I want to get to my points that I took notes on first. And I know I talked about one of our earlier team calls not too long ago about personal development, and I want to visit that again, but I also want to talk about how to plan your day, business hours, and strategic planning. And there's just a couple different um, I guess, little exercises that you can do to help you kind of get organized in that way of thinking. So first I want to talk about personal development because I personally feel that this is an area that I have lacked in this past year. I've put it on the back burner and I think I didn't grow the way that I wanted to grow. And it really does need to be at the forefront every single day. And I'm going to go into as to why. But it's a new year, it's a new goal. So maybe we can all refocus and make that a big priority. So for the first small exercise I want to do is, and if you can always go back and re-listen to this call and do the exercises later. You don't have to do it right now. But I want you to list out 1 through 10. And I'm going to give you a small category for each number. So number 1 is physical health. Number 2 is mental health. Number 3 is environment. Number 4 is hobbies and joy. Number 5 is romance. Number 6 is friends and family. Number 7, purpose and career. Number 8, financial. And number 9 is spirituality. And then number 10 is personal development. So real quick, just to recap. Number 1 is physical health, 2, mental health, 3, environment, 4, hobbies and joy, 5, romance, 6, friends and family, 7, purpose and career, 8, financial, 9, spirituality, and 10 is personal development. And then beside each one of those, I want you to rate each category 1 through 10, 10 being the best that can be in your mind. And of course, you can have duplicates. So if physical health is a 9 and mental health is a 9, that's okay. You can have the same number for multiple categories. And if you want to achieve your goals, then I think that we have to kind of reverse what we're typically used to thinking, is that we have to stop focusing so much on that particular goal, because I think it goes against us actually working towards the goal we're actually working towards, because we forget all the other things surrounding as to how we get there. So instead, focus on the behaviors. And I'll give an example. Of course, that can be related to business, but a more common example that we're all used to hearing is losing weight. So many of us will think about that number on the scale. Like, I want to lose 15 pounds. And you dread over that. You get on the scale every morning, you see what the almighty scale has to say, and it dictates your day, your mood, what you eat, everything else that's, going on in your life, for you to just concentrate on that sole number. You lose focus of the steps and behaviors that can really change that number. So when you start focusing on those things, what you're eating, what you're doing as far as workouts go, your consistency, that number is going to follow. So as far as business goes, tracking the behaviors is what's going to help you reach your goals. And as you guys probably know, that's an area that I've struggled with. And, new year, new me. So I'm going to make it a huge point right now to get that under control. But if you're not tracking things in your business, you should probably start, because you're just going to be running around in circles. And personal development helps with those behaviors and to help you truly develop yourself in all those categories that you listed. So another example would be, comparing yourself to somebody else in the business. Maybe they started like right around the same time as you, and you're looking at them because they've achieved things quicker, they are doing things differently, they've had more success than you. But I think it comes back to us really taking a hard look at what we're actually doing and those behaviors that's getting us to either where we are or at our standstill. And you need to focus on your journey alone. I think that when we do start comparing ourselves to others, that we get so caught up in what they're doing that we're not focusing on ourselves anymore. And that's where we have to start, is with your own journey and where you are and what you want to achieve, not what anyone else does. So in getting what you want, it's really, really simple, but it's not easy. You'll hear that all the time in this business, that it's really, really simple, but it's not easy. You have to show up every single day and do the tasks to move forward. So there's all sorts of tools out there in addition to what our team does. There's books, there's additional training, there's steps from other people who have done it before me, before, our leaders on our team. So why do we feel stuck sometimes? Again, I think it has to do with just taking a hard look at ourselves, and could be the excuses that we make up for ourselves. It goes back to, again, behaviors every single day. You have to work towards what you want. And, we're all busy. We all lead busy lives no matter what we're doing. It's just the way things are. So if this is something that you really want to work, and whatever your goals are, you need to adjust accordingly to make this fit. And again, it's that small sacrifice for long-time reward. So another big thing that holds us back from achieving our goals is an F word, and it's not one that you probably think, but it's the word fine. Because I think that everyone kind of says, "Oh, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm fine." "How's your day going?" "Fine." But you don't it's just second nature almost. Like, you just say it because it's the standard thing to say, but are you truly fine? We tell ourselves that we're okay with not having certain things, or it's okay, I don't really need that sweater, it's fine. But are you really fine without having it? Again, that's a decision you have to figure out for yourself, but take a hard look. And if you're not fine with where you are right now, do something else to better your life. And again, it goes back to behaviors, personal development, developing yourself so that you can truly love yourself to help other people. Oh, okay, that's good. All right. So just be honest with yourself and whatever the steps that you're taking to reach those goals. And another thing is that you're never going to feel like it. You're never going to feel like getting out of bed at 5:30 in the morning if that's what you have to do. You're never going to want to sit down and work a power hour after the kids go to bed after a long day. No one wants to really do that necessarily. But again, it's forcing ourselves to take those steps because we've set goals for ourselves. And obviously, we're all adults. Once you're 18, you start making decisions for yourself. And we have to go back to the basics, and this is a decision that you've made. So get uncomfortable getting uncomfortable. The area that you are most uncomfortable in is where you either need to grow, and the more that you do it, the more that you're going to see the most growth. So if it's inviting, if it's talking about coaching, do that more, because you're going to get better at it the more you feel forward and the more that you're in the arena. So be uncomfortable. No one's comfortable doing any of that stuff, but the more that you do it, the more you're going to grow. Another big point is I think a lot of times when we feel stuck or we reach a frustrating point, which we all do, we have negative self-talk to ourselves. Maybe we just don't encourage ourselves as much as we could and should. But, you can do it. Each and every one of us can do this. And sometimes we just have to be told that by somebody else, as well as yourself. But if you're constantly telling people that they can do something and that they can lose weight and they can do this for themselves and make a difference in their lives, then you better be doing it for yourself as well, and being your own biggest cheerleader and taking your own advice, or it's not going to work. Would you want to be the person, like be friends with the person that you are in your head? If you're always saying you're not good enough, or I can't believe I ate that cookie today, I can't believe you didn't make time for that. If you turn those things around and make them positive, your actions will follow. Another thing that I've heard is that it's kind of a helpful tip to have a mantra. So Rocky and, all like Muhammad Ali or whatever would always, when he was training, he'd be like, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. So I don't personally have one really, I guess, but if you need to tell yourself, like, I'm a badass, I'm successful, I'm worth it, I'm a master of my own ship. If you need to like write it on your mirror so that you see it every morning, do it, because you're gonna repeat that in your head each day, and you're gonna start to believe it. So that's just kind of a tip that I've heard from other leaders and other people that are successful, is to have that mantra. And also write down things that you are proud of. And we all get in those ruts, like I said, but we don't, and when we think that we are not doing anything right, or we're not where we should be, things like that, when we write down the things that we are proud of, they become that reminder on days that we need them. So maybe an example would be, I'm proud of my kids. I'm proud of the life I built with my spouse. I'm proud that I've reached the level that I'm at. And then this helps with that negative self-talk, because these are the things that you've actually done and achieved for yourself. You might ask yourself who you want to marry, and that question should always be yourself, because it kind of reverts back to, if you can't love yourself now, as you are, and accept who you are, whether or not you lose 10 pounds or 50 pounds, if you're poor, if you're a millionaire, if you don't love yourself first, it's going to be really difficult to help other people. So love yourself better or for worse. And when we do have those bad times, take a step back and look at them as a growing experience. So for me, my tracking and my organization has not been good, and I had to take a small step back and ask myself, where am I lacking? And it was tracking and personal development. So I'm taking it as, not a setback, but a learning experience to grow and to learn from my mistakes. Let's see, what else did I put? Okay, so that's kind of my point on that, is that you have to love yourself first through the good times and the bad, and then take your bad experiences to just grow upon and learn from. Just like you would, it seems like common sense, and we've heard it all before, but I think it's just always a good reminder to, hear it again and have it be at the forefront of your thinking process. Because personal development is so important, because like I said at the beginning, it relates to all the relationships in your life, all the situations as well. So if you don't have time to sit down and actually read a book for 10, 15 minutes, use the time that you're in your car, or you're waiting to pick up your kids in the line from school, to listen to a podcast or an audio book. There's always something out there that you can use for personal development. And there's different subjects for different things. So, there's motivation, there's leadership, there's personal development on how to have better conversations with people. Business is, of course, out there. And you can also subscribe to like little like daily reminders from other successful personal development people, one being Darren Hardy. You can go to his website, and it's called Darren Daily, I think. And he sends you a video and just a small little message every morning. So it's in your inbox every single day, and it's just a positive, like, get your day going, simple reminders. It's really, really great. I subscribe to it and I listen to it every day. So that's just a couple minutes, but it could just be something that you do, like while you're putting your makeup on or something, like in the morning. Listen to that. So there's so many different topics and perspectives that you can learn from out there, and then you can start implementing them into your life. So also what counts as personal development is the National Wake Up Call. So if you're not listening to that, I highly recommend it, because you're always going to take something away from that. There's different podcasts, of course. Shalene Johnson is a big part of our community. It has a really great podcast. Our team calls, anything like that you listen to can count as personal development. And I also heard of an app called, it has to relate with your faith. It's called the First 5 app. And I think it's 5 minutes. I haven't looked it up actually, but you take 5 minutes to pray and like spend time with God. So I know some coaches use that. So another example, as far as like business-wise and personal development, if you say you're always having problems and troubles inviting, with the idea of inviting, then you're probably having trouble with something else in your life that's keeping you from inviting. So you have to figure out what that is, and you're going to find that the more that you do personal development. So you got to grow yourself more than anything else in this business. And it seems kind of crazy, but it's so true, because you're going to run out of content and you're going to run out of things to offer people if you're not continuously growing. One thing that I think most of you probably saw, Heather had posted something related to personal development today in one of our diamond trainings, and I wrote them down because I wanted to share it with the rest of the team. And she talked about the 6 must-haves for extreme achievement, and I'll go through them. Number 1 is clarity. Get 100% clear on what you want to achieve, because clarity is the ultimate power. Number 2 is confidence. Get it by doing your personal development. If you don't, you are going to find a way to lose and talk yourself out of things. Make the choices that are harder in the moment. This builds your confidence, and girl bosses think what's better long term and are disciplined enough to delay gratification over instant satisfaction. So most of you know that this is not a get rich quick type of deal. There isn't really a ton of instant gratification. So there is going to be some frustrations and, trying times along the way. Personal development is going to help you get through those tough times and build your confidence in what you're doing. Circle of influence is number 3. Who you associate with is who you will become. This is a big one. Attend live events, Super Saturdays, Summit, the event Platinum Edge in September this year. Get rid of any negative people in your life. And this is hard for a lot of us, especially as new coaches. If your community is not challenging you to be better, then you need to find a new circle. And that might be tough pill to swallow for some of us, especially if it's really close long-term friends or family, even our spouses possibly, that provide that negativity to what you have set out to do. Not obviously you can't disassociate your family and your spouse, but you can have conversations and include them in what you're doing and explain things, what you're taking personal development to grow stronger with those areas if you need to, or possibly cut ties with those people, because it's kind of like you are to your closest five, you become who you associate with the closest five people in your life. So whoever those top five people are is who you are, basically. Number 4 is consistent energy and motivation. Lack of consistency is subtle, and it's the biggest stealer of your dreams and desires. You've heard me say it a million times. You have to show up every single day, and you have to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent in your business tracking, your daily activities, your posting. You know, if you look at it as a job, you don't just not go into work one day because you just don't want to. It's kind of like the same concept. So number 5 is creating result rituals. It's not about the hours you work, but the work you put into your hours. Use your coach tracker every day and track your business activities, and not to be sucked into your Facebook timeline. There's apps out there where you can actually block notifications and take away your entire news feed off your screen. You could probably Google it. I wish I could remember what it is. But you just set that when you want to do your power hour, and you no longer have the opportunity to scroll through the news feed. It's gone. So you're just returning messages and going off your list. So if you find yourself being distracted constantly by your Facebook timeline, I suggest you find what that is and do it. And another little point is if you find yourself doing a bunch of things on Facebook or, whatever social media platform you like to use and scroll through, if you're spending hours and hours, there's a good chance that your business is either not going anywhere or you're suffering. So my opinion is, if you have time to scroll on Facebook, you have time to build a business. You just have to reprioritize what you want and what your goals are, and make those small little sacrifices. Maybe use your Facebook scrolling, if that's something you really love to do, as a reward for getting all your business activities done for the day. And if you have extra time, then you go back and do it. So that was number 5, is the creating results rituals. And number 6 is continual growth and learning. You must continue to grow yourself, because if you don't, you're going to stop growing. You don't stop growing when you become successful. You are your most valued asset, and the more skills you develop, the more value that you can add to the lives of others. So I think those are all good things to kind of, I guess, mantras to go by as far as personal development goes. Now, the second part of the call that I wanted to take time to just touch on is prioritizing and planning. I think this is really difficult for some of us, especially when we are so busy and a lot of us have full-time jobs. And if you don't plan out your business day, then you're going to get lost in the mix. So how to use personal development to manage your time better. Again, a quick exercise, and you can do it later, but create almost a time budget. You're going to draw 5 boxes on a sheet of paper, and you can spread them out. And those boxes are going to be your priorities. So for example, for me, it might look like my 1 would be growth, which is personal to me, like my own personal growth. Family, provision, which is Beachbody for me. It's something how you're going to provide something for your family. So if it's additional money for your family, if it's to make it your full-time job, you also have to take into account, if you have a full-time job, that Beachbody is a separate box. Serving could be another one. And then leading and leadership. And those can be different. Those are just examples. And then I want you to rate in the order of importance. if you're not rating your own personal growth based on what we've just talked about as your number one priority, you can't take care of others. So you have to take care of you first. So I would make that your number one priority. And you can, so now we're going to list 3 to 5 things in each category. So I'll give you examples for all of those. So for example, under growth, it could be quiet time. Maybe that's just meditating or listening to music, maybe spending time with God, reading the Bible, or, whatever you want to do. It's you time, it's quiet time, shutting the world off. Exercise, personal development, meal prep, and I want you to provide a full day of rest. And I'll go into that in a little bit. So under family, just using my examples, family might be date night, family night, time to unplug, house management, and one-on-one time with kids. For provision, as far as Beachbody goes, nothing for your team goes here. It's for you only. Your power hour, content, scheduling, extra training, creating templates, and tracking is what I have. Serving would be, just a couple examples would be volunteering at maybe your kid's school, volunteering somewhere else, maybe at your church, leading a Bible study. If you have kids that are in Girl Scouts, maybe you lead Girl Scout meetings, that sort of thing. And then leading, I have mentoring, coach calls, team calls, and team trainings. And then once you have all of that listed out, I want you to take the time you're awake, so the time you get up in the morning and the time you go bed at night. Calculate it out. How many hours a day is that? And how many hours a week is this? So however many hours a day it is, multiply by 6. Because I want to give you a full day of rest. And of course, if you have kids, like, that's not 100% possible, but you get the idea. And then take those hours to figure out where you're going to spend your time. And this is where your priority list comes in. So schedule your time. Schedule, where was I? Hold on. Okay. Yeah, schedule your time, and then in your planner, your tracker, whatever you're using, use different colors to provide for each set of hours. So maybe your growth is yellow. Maybe your serving is purple, so on and so forth. And if you so then you're going to set hours. You're going to break up the amount of hours you have to devote to all of these areas. You're going to break them all up and try and figure out how much time you have allotted realistically for your day. And then when you run out of time, like when those hours are over, you move those tasks that you might have not gotten to the next day. I mean, that's your choice, obviously. This is just for people who are super crunched on time and need this type of structure. So, say you didn't finish all your follow-ups. No one's going to die. No one's going to, not buy a challenge pack because you didn't answer them right then. The day goes on, time goes on. Just get to them tomorrow. They're still going to be there. If family time is something that you do at night, obviously, then you don't want your business hours running over to your family time. So make sure that you honor whatever you've put on your planner. And we have to stop feeling guilty for wanting something for ourselves outside of our family. You just need to plan properly. I think, especially as moms, I think a lot of us will put our kids first, put our family first. Everyone comes first before you as a mom. But it's okay and to not feel guilty and put yourself first sometimes so that you can take care of everybody else. And like I said earlier, if you have a full-time job, Beachbody is going to go in a separate box because your provision is going to be your real job. Let's see. Oh gosh, my dog is like whining. He's trying to hide a bone, like, and he's running around the house with the bone, like crying. Um, so this is just basically giving you a method where and how you're spending your time. It's just kind of another way to track. And if you're a pen and paper person, I know a lot of people are, it kind of allows you to do that. And when you schedule you time, make sure you get that time. It doesn't have to be Beachbody. It can be other things you want to do. If it helps to put it on your schedule, do that. I know there's 2 planners that people like to use called the Mom Agenda and the Day Designer. I know Heather uses the Mom Agenda, and so does Christy, I think. They seem really great. I don't want to, I'll lose papers, so I just need to put everything electronically because my husband just despises the fact that I have stacks everywhere as it is. So to have more paper laying around, he might just throw them out. So does that help you kind of see a different way of looking at that, make you feel better? Do you have questions?
Yeah, that was very helpful. All the personal development and just all of that was really good.
Okay, and I had like a little inviting tip that I heard on the call that I listened to sometime this week. So obviously inviting is a question that I get like all day long. Like, how do I invite? I've run out of people to invite. How do I find people?
I was going to ask you that.
Friends of friends. Okay, so Facebook has who you may know. If you have more than like 10 friends, just friend request them and start like forming relationships with them. And if you've run out of people to do that with, it is to get involved in interest groups. And that was something that I put in my new Asana, because in our diamond group, and I'll share that with the rest of the team, is this tracker. I put it in the Emerald group too, so if you're in there, you have it as well. But it's from Lindsay Matway, and obviously she's amazing and super organized, and she makes things super cute, and you know, that's motivating to some people. But it's laid out in a way that you can use whatever area you are in your business. There's a coach tracker, there's a business builder tracker, and there's a leader tracker. So depending on where you are in your business, you can always adjust what you're doing and what you need to be tracking. So for me, I'm using a leader tracker, and that's what I put into my personal Asana. But she had interest groups on there. So basically, you can go into anything. I mean, for people who like softball, maybe moms of toddlers, teachers, you know, whatever it is, you just go in there, you kind of be a fly on the wall. I know Tiffany's been successful in doing this before, but you just kind of see what the conversations are and start interacting with people. And if you have, you know, some good stuff going on in the news feed or whatever, just invite them, say, hey, do you want to continue talking like privately so that our conversation doesn't get lost or whatever. But I know people have been successful in that. I haven't done it a whole lot, but it's something that I want to do just to grow my network. As far as Instagram goes, I mean, I always say use hashtags and just keep digging. Yeah. So just find new hashtags that would relate to you and just dig through I mean, of course, like you're always going to find coaches that, you know, use the same hashtags, but if you just keep digging, you're going to find new people and then just latch onto them. So that was something that came up. Did you have like another specific question as far as that goes?
No, I was just going to ask you how you keep finding people.
Yeah. And again, like my tracking hasn't been like 100%. So I think I probably haven't been doing as much as I should, but I feel like for me, I tend to I latch on to people and like I really continue like relationships with them until they basically tell me no.
Yeah.
So, like I'll always check in. I mean, if I'll follow up with them like 3, 4 times, and sometimes they honestly like just don't see it. I mean, they'll say like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know." So I never feel like weird about following up with them and just kind of like, hey, how's your week? You know, just really general. It's not constantly asking them like, hey, did you check out that video I sent you? Or hey, did you do this? Or have you thought any more about this? It's just like, hey, checking in. And then they may or may not see like my past messages and they'll just be like, oh my gosh, I didn't see my message. So don't be afraid to follow up. I mean, in sales, that's just kind of like the way it is that you just keep asking until someone flat out tells you like, no, I'm not interested. Because most of the time it's honestly just not right now. I mean, they're still going to watch you. They're still going to see what you're doing. So, yeah, I mean, the magic's in the follow up. So, I mean, that's just where my strong point has always been. I feel like I'm good at building relationships, and then I just latch on. So, you know, it's an area of improvement that I'll see this year. I feel like is adding more numbers because I'll actually be tracking that better.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, it just goes down to you just keep dinging until you find. If you haven't hit 20, if you want to invite 20 new people to your lists, you know, each week, or maybe it's 10 people each day. I mean, don't go to bed till you put 10 new people on the list. And it doesn't have to be like them answering you back. Like just say you found somebody's Instagram page and they're like, you really like it, and put them on the list and just shoot them like a general message, you know, just, hey, I love your page, you're inspiring, and just see if they'll, you know, answer you back. And they go on your list whether or not, you know, they've answered you back, because they're still in your Rolodex and you can always, you know, go back to them later on, but at least they're not slipping through the cracks. And that's where like I've been not so great. So
you forget about them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, especially when you are doing so much from your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, you work a lot from the couch probably, like, you know, or from your desk at work, and you know, you'll write someone back and then you don't track it, and then it kind of gets lost. So I mean, I think that's always going to happen to a certain extent, but just being more cautious of it and you know, doing your best to track, I think will go a long way.
Well, it makes me realize who I need to go ahead and follow up with. If it's down on paper, like the date that I last talked to them or whatever, or maybe I don't have as many as I thought I did.
Yeah.
If it's not down, then I know.
Yeah, and that's like a big problem I think that I'll run into, is that I don't have as many as what I thought I did. Now, I have so many contacts, like it's ridiculous. I don't even know like where to start. And they're all in like 3 different places at this point, because my first tracking system was Evernote. So I have like months and months of contacts, probably a huge chunk of them in there that when I initially started running ads and I was really successful in that, that's where all those people are, and I haven't followed up with them in like a year. So, you know, finding a system that you like initially, I can tell you, like, it's just going to be so much better in the long run. And since we have like a tad bit of time, I'll just show you real quick. So before I go over this, I'll show you my Asana. So I have redone all of my projects. So I used to just have like one list. Like this is just a huge cluster of like people. Okay, I have to go through this. So I'm not even looking at that right now. But basically the girl that set it up, and I added to it just because I feel like I will be more organized so I can see everything. So daily journal, you can do like each day if you want, and just go in here and write down like what you did. So you did 32 follow-ups, and you had a great call with Danielle, wants to sign as a coach Friday. Just like things like that. And you can just kind of keep a diary of what you're doing. She described it as, what the heck are you doing all day? What the heck are you doing all day? Business tasks. I changed this up a little bit. This is where I implemented the tracker from Lindsay Matway into this area. So you have a monthly action plan, and these are all things that you should be doing each month, or I should be doing as a leader each month. So to-dos, all of that. And then I have a weekly action plan, what I need to do there. And then daily to-dos, just make sure that you're doing. I guess that's more like a reminder. If you saw something that inspired you, you can put it there, because things like this will provide social media content. So even if you don't write a post about it that day, it's always going to be something that you can go back to. And, if you listen to Bonnie Ingles' call, she's really good at this, because she provides that sneak peek into her page. Is basically a sneak peek into her life, her coaching, her business, like everything. And she'll even say, like, I was in the checkout line today and some girl made fun of her friend because she ordered a salad and they were all getting burgers. And she'll like write a story about it. So that could be something that you put here. Like, it inspired me to reflect on, do what makes you happy or whatever. And then tomorrow I will. And then I broke this up into the power hour. So I have business tasks, connect and build relationships, expand your market. This is where the interest group comes in, add 5 friends to contacts, invite and follow up, post 2 to 5 times. And she gives you ideas of what those all could be. Motivation, lifestyle, personal, engaging, where you ask questions or advice, funny, where people can connect with you, be relatable and add value, and then your workout, nutrition. So there's all like really good ideas in that tracker that you can put into electronic, whatever you want to use. Customer lead emails, just kind of a reminder. Wake up call, Platinum Presenters call, Team Hardcore call, which is Janelle Summers' team. She has weekly calls that are always really good. I don't listen to them all the time, but I'm going to try to start. And then if you have a monthly newsletter, you can do that. And then down here, I put a brain dump, so you can just add tasks like that you want to do with, no ties to it. Important events, if there's videos that you want to go back and watch, you can actually put like Heather Dixon training video. Okay, and then you can go over here and put the link in and comment it. So like when you go back, then you don't have to go and look for it. It's just going to be right there.
Yeah.
And then, so that's kind of it on that and my business tasks. And then if you watch that video, she explains the old contacts, and that's where that Facebook organization comes in. So you can create lists within Facebook. So like this girl right here, you can add to another list, and I've created Beachbody Coach, Challenge Prospects, Coach Prospects, just if they're on a general fitness journey, which probably most people are going to go in Challenge Prospects, because if they're on a fitness journey, they're always a Challenge Prospect. My coaches, Shakeology Prospects, VIP if they're like a past challenger of mine, and then non-prospect, like I already know, like no. And then you can just, they're secret, like they're never going to know that you added them to these groups. But then when you go into, I don't want to lose that. If you go into down here, it'll say, well, I've made it down here. So let's see. Friends. Oh, friends. You can go in here and all those lists will come up, and then you can make them your favorites just by clicking this little wheel right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you put all your friends in different folders, then you can go to this and all of the friends are in that folder are listed. So you can like see all and then print out the list. And she uploaded them into old contacts in Asana. And then she kind of broke it down into date, like, you know, chunks of people. So maybe like 10 or 15 people a day. And she'd reach out to them. And then once she did that, she would drag those people to contact lists. So basically she's taking all of her old contacts that she needs to re-engage with. And once she's done that, then they go into a contact list, and you want the old contacts to basically be obsolete at that point. So that's a really good system. And you could go as far as like challenger prospects, coach prospects, because you can start adding different tags and stuff. I mean, there's so much you can do like with this. So that's just kind of what I've organized my Asana to be. So free leads, these are like from Beachbody, so I never like misplace those people. Current challengers, next month's challengers. And if like once the webinar is like up and running and like we have opt-in pages and all that good stuff, then coach opportunity event, where we can keep track of all of them in this folder, and you know when to follow up, you know, when you did, and they all kind of stay in that, even though those people are probably going to be coach prospects, at least you know where they came from.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working with right now. Obviously it's still kind of blank, but I just took those business activities and put them in there so that, you know, when you turn off Facebook, you can literally work from that every day. Like you can shut out everything, and then you have a whole list of what you need to be getting done each day, and you just work from that because everything's already there. Like all your contacts are there. So the only reason why you'd have to go into Facebook is to message.
Yeah.
So
that looks awesome. And I didn't know I could even do that on Facebook, make lists of people.
Yeah, and that's something that's kind of new. I think as far as like what I've learned, and I haven't used it, but yeah, it's super helpful because it's like a tracker in itself. So anytime you're adding a new friend, basically put them in a challenge, you know, prospect folder, and then they're always going to be in that Rolodex to like start forming, building relationships with, that sort of thing. So
I have some people on there that I'm like, I don't really remember how I know that person.
Mm-hmm. And so like she has for business tax, like stuff you got to do, and then old contacts, like she just literally says this, hey, like it's like a hey girl message, hey, how's it going, you crossed my mind, I wanted to get back in touch, what's new? So you can change that like to whatever you want, but it's like she literally like copies and pastes that, unless like she knows that person maybe a little better, or she saw something on their news feed, she might like make it more personal.
Yeah.
But I mean, just start doing that, and
yeah, that's a good idea.
And then this, like, you know, in that Lindsay Matway tracker, she has like little descriptions of what each would be. So, you know, under contact list, people who would make great coaches or challengers, or anyone you want to start building relationships with. This can also be anyone who likes or comments on your post because they're your biggest fans. Just something like as a reminder, like that you can look to when you kind of run out of ideas, or it's always in front of you, you know, what those people are. And then again, she's explaining things as far as challenger prospects, who's expressed interest, and don't forget to follow up. I mean, if you go through it, it's like 25 pages, and she lists everything out here. So you
Wow.
can gauge like details and interests. So like that might be something that like when I click on this and I start adding notes to here, I might add like level of interest is a 5, so you can kind of like have a record as to where they are
Yeah.
and where and how much more you need to form them and that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's all laid out for you. And of course, like if you want more like help on things, like I can do, once it's organized, I can help you guys a little bit better. But that's why I went back to Asana, because I feel like with Streak, it's just too many folders going on, and you have to like go into that folder to actually see what's going on. And like, I don't know, I feel like with this, it's all on that one side, so you can see it, you can go in there, and it's like right in front of you, and you can make notes and bullet points and things that don't have due dates and things that do have due dates. And for me, I mean, that's just what works for me, I think. So again, everyone's different, and you have to find out what works for you. I mean, some people really, really love Streak, obviously. So if that's what works for you. But the downfall with Streak, like I said, is that you can view it from your phone, but you can't edit anything from your phone. With Asana, it syncs straight to your phone. So you can add, you can like copy paste, you can do like whatever you need to do just as you would on your computer.
That's
So,
great. Because, I do a lot at work and I only do that on my phone.
yeah. Yeah. So if you need a script, like I have, I'm going to put those in our team Dropbox now instead of here, because I can add more people. But like if you have different points of the conversation and you have little scripts out, then you can put them in Asana under a script like folder, and then you can just go in and like copy and paste like into your message. So
Yeah.
you're not like sitting there writing it out every single time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
At some point, I'll be home working on my laptop all day.
yeah, that's right. You will.
Yes.
This year, hopefully the end of this year, we'll
Yes.
be
My
letting
goal
you.
was by August, but now by December, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm going to do it.
that would be such an amazing thing. And I know you can do it. So
I'm going to do it.
yeah, I like your sweatshirt too. Well, yeah, just let me know like what else you need. And
Okay.
I'm
Thank
just
you.
going to be organizing. So
Yeah, that was good. I need to do more personal development.